name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yo, what's poppin', all my peeps? It is I, your host, the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can. And oh yeah, your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back once again in the yard of streams for another edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. Yeah, we don't. And by we, I mean me and the best of the West that you can't forget about. Sarah Marshall, what's popping, girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
What's popping?
It's
How
going.
we doing?
Good, I guess.
It's so enthusiastic.
It's because my mouth hurts.
Oh, true. You were telling me that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a weird. It's pouring rain here right now, Sarah.
Jelly.
See, that's crazy because I'm sad. It was nice out, and then
Would you want to switch?
I mean, not the heat wise, but definitely the sun. You know,
okay,
the
well, it's
sun's
106
cool.
here if you'd like that.
Ooh.
It's going to be 10 tomorrow. If you'd like that instead.
I could just go. See, here's the thing. Like, me shirtless is great in, like, an alone environment. You know? It's great, like, hanging here. But, like, going out and interacting with the peeps, it's not, you know, I don't want to do that yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'll go with the undershirt or tank, or not undershirt, but a tank top or like the sleeveless. Like, I have no problem doing that. I love that look. But like once the tummy comes out, I think we all need to just go away. All right.
Yeah, we're in a heat warning. Like, we're setting heat records.
Heat
so
warning.
Yeah, we're in an excessive heat warning.
Jesus Christ.
I know. But the good thing is
I wore pants to work today. Like, I'm just picturing myself in pants there. I would
when I worked at the mall, I worked at Wet Seal in the mall. We weren't allowed to wear shorts. The girls weren't. We had one guy that worked at Wet Seal.
But why?
Because, I don't know. They didn't let us wear shorts. It was like literally in the rule book for working there. Like, we couldn't. And I'm like, not even when you work at a place like this, because like, yeah, people go to the mall or they go to the movies because it's supposed to be air conditioned. So it's like, there you go. But like, we were not very far away from doors. Like, there were like entrances to the right of us and then to the left of us, like a few stores away, but like still they were like right there. So there was constant heat, and it's once you're in there, it doesn't feel that cool anymore. And so I'm like, we would all just start wearing like maxi dresses or something because they wouldn't let us wear shorts. And then the one guy that worked there, he would stroll in shorts, and I'm like, must be nice. Be nice.
What type? See, that's my question. If it's the girls can't wear shorts and they're like the not booty shorts, but like short shorts, like I get it because that was an issue where I worked in the summer. But if you rolled up in like shorts that were a little bit above the knee,
well, I know, right? Like as long as it's like not inappropriate, I don't get it. But
as long as your ass is not hanging out, I think it's fine.
Yeah, but
that's wild. I couldn't imagine. I wore pants and I wore short sleeves today, but I wear pants and long sleeves. Yeah. And then in the heat, like, because it's cold. It's not AC, but it's cold because fish. But then you go outside to like, go to a truck or take a phone call or something. Like, you just get hit, and you're like, holy. Yeah.
That's how it was for me when I worked at the grocery store, because they have a uniform. So it was like, like a khaki colored shirt, and it was always long sleeves, and then the black slacks and whatever. And I would have to go outside and get carts, and I'm like, oh,
cart duty must have sucked. Must have sucked.
I was so good at it though, so like, no big deal.
Oh yeah, the Celts are on too tonight.
Yeah, in an hour. They're probably not going to sweep because Scott Foster is...
gentleman sweep. Let them have one, and then we'll win in 5.
Whatever.
What's up, David?
What up?
The Celtics in an hour.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, try it.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
You can do it.
Why is it not working now?
Well, we'll figure it out. We have an entire show to figure it out. Getting ready for Clash tomorrow. We had fun on SmackDown tonight. Are you European? That's awesome that you got to watch it live before us. That is.
Oh yeah.
It's shoes on the other foot.
We had fun on SmackDown. You were there. King, are you Scottish? Are you part of? Could you be my relative?
Are you Sarah's peep?
I know I'm like 38% Scottish. So
Maybe
yeah, I
you're
think
part
it's
of that Drew
38.
McIntyre bloodline. Who knows?
No, I know, but that wouldn't be good because I don't want to bag my uncle or something, you know?
That's true. But we got that storm for hours. 2 inches of rain. Yeah, it's fucking hailing out there, bro.
Come
It's
on.
absolutely insane.
Why was it worse the other day?
What was that?
It wouldn't stop. I was like,
It was just like laser show.
So mean. What's going on?
I think they know you're trying to do it, so they're being annoying.
So rude. Very rude.
It's really rude. We don't like that. But we like what's going to happen today on the show, guys. It's going to be a great show. All right, we got the Clash of the Castle predictions, also some other topics that we want to talk about, on the show here. And then wrap up obviously with the 1, 2, 3 count and take a trip to the Nonsense Galaxy where we see Sara back in action. All right, I might just change your name to Sara because they don't even call you like any name that I put. They call you Cap.
Yeah, which is horrific. Like, what is that?
Captain. Could you like
the
captain?
Yeah, but like, don't call me Cap. Like, what?
Yeah, but that's the game.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't like it.
All right, well, that's why we call you the bad gal in honor. Okay. And you got it. We'll give you the rundown because Sara, I texted you. It was the most nonsensical stream I've done of WWE so far. Like it was a lot. I loved it. I hated it, which is a great segue into what we loved and hated this week in wrestling.
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
Damn right, Adam Rose. Damn right. It is time for Pitt and Sara's lemons and rosebuds of the week, our least and favorite things that happened this week. So I've been kind of royal rambling here a little bit, and as I got to get my list up because I definitely have to remember it. But Sara, what is your rosebud of the week?
Well, I haven't seen it yet, but I will when I watch SmackDown. So
yes, boy! Yes, boy! Yes, boy! Yes, boy! Yes, boy! Yes, boy!
When I tell you that I am so excited.
There we go.
That Pretty Deadly are okay. So they're shown on TV. Okay. I guess that they are shown to be like in attendance of SmackDown. Like they're special guests for SmackDown, which is like wild to me. Like, what do you mean they're special guests? They're on SmackDown. So they're shown Andrade, and then Ashante and Cedric Alexander, I believe, are also shown. And I just didn't care about anyone other than Pretty Deadly because they have been off my TV for far too long, and it just made me very excited. I got their action figures earlier this week. I have to get new ones, unfortunately. I have to send them back because there are manufacturer defects on mine. So
that's so rude.
I know. But regardless, I posted it on Twitter and Kitty gave me a yes girl. So
that was awesome. I did
that made I was like, oh my God, Kitty. And so yeah, I'm excited to get those. But I would like to believe that this was maybe the start of something that we'll finally see all of these guys on TV for like more than just, a quick little like, hey, they're here. But it reminded me, I guess this is kind of the conversation I wanted to have about it too. So people were talking about SmackDown spoilers, obviously, because not everyone lives in America, so they could watch it live. And Humble Wrestling was saying that this is just another example of Triple H like listening to the internet, because people are convinced that he is very active on social media, or he has someone or people that are very active on social media and kind of like report back to him what fans are saying, what they're liking, what they're not liking, whatever. But a little bit more than I think what we typically would expect, because the people that he chose to have as special guests on SmackDown, Pretty Deadly, Andrade, Ashante, and Cedric, are people that a lot of people have been looking or going on Twitter, on social media, and asking where they were and why they haven't been on TV. And so it was kind of like, he has to be in the know, right? Because why did he randomly pick these people to be like, hey, they're in the audience, you know? And so that's why I'm like, okay, I love that Pretty Deadly was one of the people or one of the groups or whatever that they showed. I just hope that this means that they have bigger plans for them, and that this wasn't just trying to appease the people, because I've been one of those people tweeting Triple H directly being like, can you explain why my guys Elton and Kit are not on SmackDown? Like, can you explain that to me? Like, I tweeted him a couple times. That's just me. But
Just you.
I do think that it would be wise if he would listen to what fans are saying, because of course fans are fickle, but at the same time, they're the ones that are paying you, giving you money, showing up to the shows, doing meet and greets, buying the merch. And obviously everybody has their own favorite. So I'm not saying he needs to listen, you know, if someone is like, I really want to see so and so, you know, like you can't ask
no, there's
for
talent there though.
Yeah,
That's the
because
difference.
my thing with Pretty Deadly specifically is I'm just kind of confused how when they were first brought up to SmackDown, they were on like every week. They were in matches. They were having multiple backstage segments. They were getting these vignettes and these funny video segments. Even were the lead in to the ladder tag team match at WrestleMania.
Awesome.
And then they've been MIA since. It's been 2 months. We've barely seen them. So that's why it's kind of like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing? So I would just like to think that Triple H might take notice that, like, okay, there are people that you're not showcasing that fans actually do want to see.
It's tough because where they're at, it has been a little stale and slow moving with this whole DIY,
Mm-hmm.
uh, DIY Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, A-Town Down Under thing. This is where they sneak in,
I hope
because
so.
it seems inevitable at this point. Austin Theory is going to
Mhm.
be a babyface. All right, it's inevitable that turn and breakup is happening.
Did you see
So,
he did a meet and greet?
the people that were there,
I know. Can you
insane.
like? We've been saying this. We've been saying this for so long. Like we were
A
saying
year.
when he went to the hospital with Bianca Belair to meet sick kids. I'm like, what is happening?
He went to the hospital with Grayson Waller. They did a whole video about it. I was
Yeah, it's
watching.
insane though. Like, but yeah.
It's incredible. Like,
Mhm.
that's a guy you can, make a champion and a great face for your younger demographic to look up to. That
Mhm.
that's where I see Pretty Deadly sneaking in. That once DIY gets their, awesome title the awesome title win, and then
Yeah.
the predictable first title defense that is a good match but solidifies them as a champion. And then Pretty Deadly does something. Either they attack them if they want to show the aggression side,
Mhm.
or a little backstage segment that's more their vibe. Like,
Mhm.
that's where I see them sneaking in. After that, like, you're really messing up here if they don't go that way.
I think that Pretty Deadly are far too entertaining and good in the ring to be not on TV. And I know that I'm biased, but I don't really feel like that's being biased, because you could say
No.
this about other people. Like, even I'm not even like this big fan of, Ashante and Cedric Alexander, but them as a tag team, hot. I want to see it. They're going to be so good. So it's like, even then I'd be advocating for somebody, a group like them to be on TV. I've already advocated for Andrade as well. But yeah, I just am like, this was like a move in a positive direction for me when it comes to my fandom for Pretty Deadly. I just hope that it's going to continue. Especially if Triple H is paying so much attention to what is being said online.
He has to
So
have a bit. He has to have.
he has
He's
to.
got ops online. That's
That
my
I know
theory.
people think he has a burner. I'm like, I don't know that he has that much time.
No.
But I'm sure he tries to, like, I mean, they have a social media team, so they have to be kind of like going around and seeing what people are saying.
Has to.
Yeah.
My rosebud. I have a good list, and I thought there were more. We're still working on the list to make it more official and whatnot. But I'm gonna go with my Rosebud. I'm gonna go with Samantha Irvin's Def Rebel, Chelsea Green theme. Did you hear this?
Oh yes, I did. I am obsessed.
I'm obsessed with it. It is like it's that artist that just can't get anything going, and then they hit that one song is just it. That's Def Rebel. They just did one thing correct, and now everyone's gonna ride that high for like a couple weeks.
So if anybody is unfamiliar, this is another SmackDown spoiler. Chelsea Green is in a match on SmackDown, and she, instead of it's Chelsea at the beginning of her song, it now is Samantha Irvin, and how she pronounces Chelsea Green. That's how her song starts now. So which I love, because then Samantha's there.
And not there at the same. It's awesome.
Yeah. No, she's there. She's in Scotland.
Was she?
Yes.
Oh, she did. I saw the video she posted on Instagram.
So it was funny because you heard it twice. I think that was great, because I think that was like a huge thing that people were upset about when Chelsea and Piper got traded to SmackDown. Well, traded, because then we knew that we weren't going to hear Samantha say it anymore. So I love that she did that, and I feel like it's to me, it's a great personal touch for Chelsea, because her song was great. That was a song that she was using in the indies and stuff. And so that was great. But I also love that they did this, and that Triple H did this, because it wasn't that long ago where they were trying to force Samantha to not pronounce her name that way. And it was like, what, a week or two where she couldn't pronounce Chelsea's name that way.
Everyone's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. And people were saying that she's too creative. She's too, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, she's too dramatic.
No, that's the word I was looking for, but over the top, like.
Yeah, and that included Chelsea. So I'm like, okay, I love that Triple H was like, nah, put that in your song.
It's also Jim
Chelsea.
Cornette saying this. Like, what are we doing? Like,
yeah.
like we gotta know who's saying it before we get all.
Well, it was someone in WWE though. That was why they.
That was
Chelsea.
That's why.
Yeah, that was why Chelsea couldn't do it for like a week or two. So this to me is like the ultimate FU to whoever that is, because now it's like, all right, well, you have to hear her announce every single week on Raw, but now you have to listen to Chelsea, the way she says Chelsea Green every time Chelsea has a match.
I love it. I thought and usually this is where I talk about my AEW stuff, but we have a whole thing. We have a whole topic about AEW today. So I'll just save all my Rosebud, because my Rosebud is really what we're going to be talking about on the bigger stage after we talk about our lemons, Sarah, after we talk about what we did not like in this week of wrestling.
I'm trying to think of something that we haven't talked about already that I haven't liked. I feel like, I mean, I guess this isn't like a super real lemon, and I don't know. I think part of it is I don't like the unsettled feeling I have going into watching Clash of the Castle. Like, I'm very excited about Clash of the Castle, and I'm glad that, not every single match is necessarily predictable, but I just that uncertain feeling that I have about matches that I'm really excited to see, and I hope that they go a certain way. That's what's kind of making me not look forward to the show. Because I just don't want to be disappointed, like people were saying.
You do have that feeling a lot.
Me?
Yeah, you get that feeling.
Oh, yeah.
All the time going. I'm like.
It's because, when it's my like some of my favorites, when I really want a certain outcome, that's when I get nervous, like there are people talking about, what if Cody loses? I don't think he will, but he said I quit on NXT, and so then people were immediately talking about AJ Styles is going to have that recorded and he's going to play it during the match, because
this is where wrestling fans get so smart.
Because you're not supposed to say I quit like before the match. So there's that, but then I'm like, oh my God, I can't, like, the idea of AJ Styles being champion is great, but taking the title off Cody only 2 months after he won it from a guy who held it for almost 4 years, like, that's horrible. I also hate the idea that everybody all of a sudden is on of Chad Gable becoming Intercontinental Champion. To me, it's like a similar situation to Roman Reigns being champion. You cannot have Sami Zayn beat Gunther after having the world title or the Intercontinental title for over 600 days and then pass the title 2 months later. That's bonkers to me. Like, delegitimizing the title, but that's just my opinion. But then I'm also like so torn on what's going to happen with Drew McIntyre and the idea of CM Punk. And I'm just like, I am so excited to watch this show, but I'm very nervous about how upset I might be by the end. And I think that's part of like why I would say it's kind of a lemon, because I like the unpredictability factor, but at the same time, I don't. The predictability is comforting also. So
it's a weird yin and yang. I feel like that's what you're giving off.
Yeah.
My it's pretty obvious what mine is out of the list I have here. I'll just start with this one first. I hate him. I hate him so much. But I also like low-key love it. It you know what I mean? See, that's the thing, Sarah. It's you know what it is? I'm gonna give a perfect explanation of the Chris Jericho learning tree gimmick right now. Okay. And I hope people listen to this clip if you do clip this one. Okay, I just thought of it. The Chris Jericho learning tree gimmick, to the fans, it gives off that feeling of like going back or wanting to go back to the ex-girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you're into. Because you hate it right away. Because you obviously want to hate things right away that your ex does or anyone that you don't like because you're jealous. But you're hating it because you genuinely hate it. Obviously, like it's cringy, it's awful. I mean, I could go into detail about some things, but we have a point to make. Because you hate it, once you understand what he's doing, though, and that's the thing, is we understand now what he's trying to convey. And the thing is, it's spot on. That's why it's also very spot on. And it's a little bit over the dramatized. I mean, a little bit with certain things that he critiques on and whatnot. It's so like it's on point with that. And because of that, I respect it and love it. You know what I mean? Because he's doing it so well. And actually not like it's not flopping. I mean, it's just every little detail he puts into it. I do love.
I think it's flopping a bit. I don't ever see anything positive about it. Ever.
It's not that that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is that once you like, I get what he's trying to do, but like it's not it, pal. Like, move on. Like that's your thing, like move on. But you have that feeling of listen, like I get it, like it's good, but it also like not the time, pal. Like fuck you. We need to move on, give Private Party not only a segment with you and you putting them over, which I did like that he was on his ass at the end of it. But why do we need you in that? Why can't Private Party be feuding with someone else in that time slot? You know what I mean? Or like Jericho, your most value comes backstage and not in front of a camera anymore. Because he has an excessive knowledge of the business and the history and all that. So you don't need to be in front of the camera anymore. Use Big Bill and Brian Keith and put them on camera and you just take a seat.
Have you noticed that this gimmick is in line with every other gimmick he's had in AEW? That there's like one underlying factor?
Potentially. What do you?
His ego. Like everything is like about
100%. Yes.
About how he's so amazing. He's like a god to wrestling. He's a legend. Like he can teach you. Like he's better than you because he's a veteran. Like every single gimmick has that underlying factor since he went to AEW. And I think that's partially why people are not going to be interested in this, because it's the same. Again, the same underlying characteristics of a character, of a gimmick, whatever. It's just recycled and altered a little bit. And I feel like you get kind of tired of that because it's great that he's evolves over the years that he's been with AEW. So he's not just being like, I'm Chris Jericho and like kind
I'm
of
a pain
just floating
maker,
around
I'm
doing that. He's
Lionheart.
had different variations, but at the same time, like if it's not drastically different from what you were just doing, then why am I buying into it? Like, why did you change at all? It's just now you're just being a little over the top, corny, whatever. But that's the only part about it. Otherwise, the basis of it is you're a legend, you're a veteran. People should be begging to learn from you. Like, you have students, you're a teacher. It's like, okay, how is that any different than the Legad? How is that any different than Chris Jericho Appreciation Society? Like, none of this is different. It's not different. And I think when it comes to Jericho, I think other than what you're saying, where people are not really they're not tuning in to AEW to see Chris Jericho in a match. Like, they're just not at this point. But it's also like what I said. I think that if he's going to go from character to character as as he needs to, then you need to have a bit more of a difference between what you were just doing, because there's a reason why you had to change from the last one to this one.
Yeah.
Like, do something different. Like, this is just, I don't know. To me, I'm like, I don't watch on obviously regularly or anything. I keep up.
I will
But-
make you watch AEW.
But like,
Gonna happen.
I'm sick of it, and I don't even watch. So
Oh, it's gonna happen one day, Sarah, that you'll be watching. Because last night was pretty good. Like, or not last night. Wednesday night was pretty good, and I like the direction they're going in with this EVP storyline, and it's different. So let's move on here to what is popping this week. Let's get to some comments. If there is any. Good day to you, Vinny. Byron said he sent you something on Twitter.
we're actually gonna talk about it. So
Oh,
yeah.
All right. So Byron, you got your wish. Hopefully you're still tuned in here to hear what we're gonna say. Oh, yeah, we're gonna talk about that. I just saw it and up. I scrolled up and saw. You know what? We brought it up. Why it is the next next topic up here. Some little news and other shit going on in the wrestling world before we get into our predictions of Clash at the Castle. Bad Blood. It is reported. I sent it to you too, Sarah. So I put it in that. Let me get the post. At WrestleOps tweeted there have been creative pitches within WWE to bring back the old WWE pay-per-view Bad Blood. The idea would be the idea would be to use the title this October to tie into the anniversary of the first ever Hell in a Cell match back in 1997 between HBK and Undertaker via PW Insider. What do we think of that? Because I'm all for it and love that if this is the way we're going to go for a Hell in a Cell type pay-per-view and get rid of the match name of the pay-per-view, great. Another
Yes.
step in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, and we've talked about that for a while too, that we were tired of, Elimination Chamber being the name. Like, go back to No Way Out, because there is no way out. And it's like, No Way Out is such a silly, name maybe to some people, but I'm like, it's so much better than just calling it the name of the match,
it's nice to have a silly name for wrestling. It's like, oh, that sounds like a wrestling show. Like,
well,
it sounds great. It
yeah. Well, I mean, and they have it with like Survivor Series. It's like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? It's like, that's not the type of match that it is. So why can't we just do that? I kind of feel like we're probably going to get to a point where Triple H does do that, where we're not going to have Hell in a Cell is not going to be the name of a show anymore.
No.
I think that like, that's so dumb. Like, I think TLC might be the only one that I would maybe be okay with.
Why?
Why? Well, I think nostalgia, but also because it's like, what do you call that show that's specifically supposed to be a show that you're allowed to use tables, ladders, and chairs?
You call it Extreme Rules.
Oh, well, they already are calling it Extreme Rules.
They have Extreme Rules. That's a match type, though. I just contradicted myself.
Yeah. So anyway,
All right, true.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we get to that type of, if we get to that point with Triple H, because I feel like he's not big into those types of names. So I would be excited about this because, like you said, I think it's a move in the right direction, and I think it's something that fans will respond positively to. It's not something where, you know, there was kind of a mixed reaction with the idea of SummerSlam being moved to 2 days. Like, that wasn't something that I think was going to be as divisive as it was. And I think that if you have like Bad Blood instead of Hell in a Cell, like, yeah, people are going to be all on that instead because it's like a way cooler name. And also, I feel like that would sell shirts more so than like Hell in a Cell, you know?
Bad Blood, you do so much cool merch for.
Well, and it kind of like it's not even just setting the tone for the show, but it kind of tells you like what kind of matches to have. You know, it's like, okay, that can dictate in a way the type of stories that you want to have going on heading into Bad Blood, because it could be like a current really hot feud where they just like want to kick each other's ass, but you can also go back to like, okay, well, this is a long feud, or these are guys who have been wanting to get into a match for a while. You know, like there's certain things that can fit the vibe a lot more than like, oh, it's Hell in a Cell. Okay. And then we have one Hell in a Cell match. That's the other thing that's stupid.
That's the one thing I loved about TNA's Lockdown was that every match was in a steel cage. I don't care if the stupid gimmick is involved with it. Doesn't matter. Every match is in a steel cage. You know, you did it. It's called Lockdown.
Yeah.
Like, you can't call it Hell in a Cell and then maybe the main event is a Hell in a Cell match, but you're getting at least one. Like, it does not add up.
It's even like the same thing with Elimination Chamber. There's 2 matches generally, maybe, for an Elimination Chamber. The rest of them are just normal matches.
Regular matches.
So it's like, it's just kind of silly to like limit yourself, but then also make it seem like the entire night is going to be.
It's very professional sports boxing in the sense that you're just trying to sell the main event or the big matches instead of including everyone. It's like, oh, it's the lower card of the pay-per-view. Like, we haven't got to the real. It's like, no, the entire thing's good. It's building to something.
The Royal Rumble is not.
What do you know?
Because the main match is an elimination, like over the top elimination match. It's not called a Royal Rumble.
The Royal Rumble is completely different.
It's an elimination match. It's not.
It's an over the top rope battle royal.
Yeah, so
that's what the match is. The Royal Rumble is the start.
Yeah, that's just the name of the pay-per-view. So it's a little different.
WWE just won by that comment. Them with the Royal, like, they just won because you referred to a battle royal over the top at a pay-per-view as the Royal Rumble. Like, they just won.
Well, and I think that kind of like going with those names makes the pay-per-view seem a little bit more legitimate too, or like long-standing, because there's a reason why there's Royal Rumble, there's a Big Four, right? WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. It's like all of those do not have those silly names.
No.
You know, and they don't even have to be the same pay-per-view. I think the Big Four should stay the same, and there's a couple obviously that they could stay, but it's like I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do Clash at the Castle every year, because it doesn't fit, you know, if you're not having it in a place that would have a castle, you know. So it's like that I think is an okay one to maybe have this year, maybe don't have it next year, like, but they're still going to come up with a badass name for it. So that's why it's like, okay, if you do that, then do it for all of them.
You can, I like how AEW does it. I will give them credit here, where their pay-per-views are not really they're not match specific at all. They're really
they're just confusing. All in, all out.
I don't get that one. Everything else, Forbidden Door, I like Dynasty. The way they did that. There's another one I like. Oh, Double or Nothing. I think Double or Nothing's are great. Yeah, it's all in. Yeah. It's another all in type of reference, like Double or Nothing. Like, it's your final.
It's not called a Royal Rumble. It's not. It's called a Royal Rumble match at the Royal Rumble, but it is a over the top battle royal.
You're
That's
not
why when
winning.
they have a
winning
Royal Rumble
this
style
argument.
match on Raw or SmackDown, it's literally called an over the top rope battle royal. That's what
Do
it
you
is.
understand who you're talking to? We've been watching this shit. I did not know this, Calvin. Did I show this comment already or no?
No,
Okay. Did you guys know that the first No Way Out was in 1998?
I did
Remember
not.
In Your House? Yes, I do. It was oh shit, I just watched. Like the main event was like an 8-person no DQ with like DX, Kane, Owen Hart. Like
And for a while,
wild.
they were still calling Elimination Chamber No Way Out in other countries.
They still call it in Germany because you can't call Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, so it's
You
like
can't.
bring
Can't
it
do
back then. Just let's just all call it No Way Out. How about that?
No Way Out's fine. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, they call it No Escape in Germany. They call it
whatever,
No Escape.
but still.
No Escape's better than Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Hands down. They should bring back In Your House, seriously. I think In Your House is a great name.
Bash at the Beach.
Yeah, take from WCW. Like,
yeah.
you own it. It's
Yeah.
not taking if you own it.
Yeah.
I really like that. Bash at the Beach. Bring back the old Great American Bash in July, but then
I think that one's pretty cool. I know. But they would have to move things because then like Money in the Bank is in July. But
Vengeance was
loved Vengeance. Yeah. Vengeance is another one that is not match specific, but it could dictate the type of matches that you have, like or who the matches are with, because like anyone seeking vengeance. Like, I think that's cool.
Let us know.
Like, how sick would it be right now if Clash of the Castle was like Vengeance? It's like because that's like that's how some of the most of the matches are.
If this pay-per-view was in America, then Vengeance should be the name of it. All right, moving on to Jey Uso being rumored to be the favorite to win the Money in the Bank. I'll cite my sources. Hold on. That's what you were taught in school. No, not that one. Oh, Wrestle Votes.
Yeah, that's come on now.
I don't know how much stock we have in that, but
this was on the internet. This was on the internet before WrestleVote said it. So
yeah,
I take what this dude has to say with a grain of salt. That's why I don't understand why people like aggregate what he says. Like I don't get it,
but I'm trying to bring up a point. Like I'm seeing this online now. I don't want to see it online. Okay. No disrespect to Jey Uso. I love main event Jey Uso, but it doesn't need to happen. There's so many other people that it makes sense for, and with the bloodline stuff really cooking, it just makes sense. Like he needs to go back to the bloodline and feud that. I'm done hearing it.
Part of the reason why I've said that I feel like this is the year that someone who is actively involved in a story or who doesn't necessarily need the Money in the Bank briefcase for the men, that's why they should win. Because I think this to me, it feels like there's just too much going on with both titles for someone who actually needs the Money in the Bank briefcase to win it this year. Because if we're thinking about Cody Rhodes, there's no way Cody's losing the title. At least in my mind, it feels like he's going to have the title at WrestleMania 41. Like to me, there's just no way that they would have him lose it sooner than that, simply because of the pedigree of the title. Because Roman was just champion for almost 4 years. Like it would look kind of ridiculous if Cody was somehow able to defy the odds, on 2 nights of WrestleMania and dethrone this dude, right? Like, and then all of a sudden, a couple months later, the title's taken from him. That's ridiculous. So to me, there's no point of anybody on SmackDown or anyone that they would want to keep on SmackDown winning Money in the Bank. Then you look at the World Heavyweight title, and it's so actively involved with so many different people. It's Damian, and then there's the Judgment Day, so that means Finn, but then that also means Drew McIntyre, which also then means CM Punk. And it's like, yeah, Jey Uso's in there too with Drew, but like they're so far away from that beef. That was over 2 months ago that he was having beef with Jey Uso. So that doesn't make any sense. And throwing him into that story again now makes no sense. So that's why I've said if Drew doesn't win, Drew should win Money in the Bank. Drew wins, maybe CM Punk wins Money in the Bank, or Finn wins Money in the Bank if Damian retains. That's why I'm saying it's like there are people that would giving them the Money in the Bank briefcase would elevate a storyline and elevate a feud more than just giving it to Jey Uso because he's popular and people like him and like therefore he should. It's like he's not even been on TV, dude. Like
No.
It doesn't make
and
any
he's still
sense
very
to me.
much relevant.
Yeah, and we know what the end game is. You know, we know that it's going to be that he is going to reunite with Roman and Jimmy, and they're going to have bloodline versus bloodline, whatever that might be. So to me, like, then that would mean, okay, you give him the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then what? He goes to SmackDown, and then you know for sure he's not cashing in on Cody because they're all going to be baby faces. He's not going to cash in on Cody. But then even then, what would be the point of him rejoining the bloodline as the Money in the Bank winner? Like, what does that do?
We're not thinking if you think that is your...
Because it's a secondary story. You would forget
exactly.
that he was even the Money in the Bank winner.
Yes,
so it's like
yes.
And if we're thinking from a perspective of a Jey Uso fan, you want him to have a successful cash in. You do not want him to win Money in the Bank to have an unsuccessful cash in. So you can't even say, oh, well, he should win, and then whatever, he cashes in and doesn't win. Why would you want that?
Why
if
would
you're
you
a Jey
don't
Uso
want
fan?
that?
Yeah, he also doesn't need the Money in the Bank briefcase to be in the main event picture. He already had a title match against Roman, so like,
and he fought already for the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah, so I just don't know. Like, I don't know where this is coming from, other than a place of like, you know, the writers and Triple H are like, well, I don't really know what to do, and we might as well give it to the guy who's selling the most T-shirts. Like, yeah, okay, that.
I hope that's not their logic. I really hope not.
And we've talked about this before. It's really hard to say who the men's winner should be this year. Like, we were talking about, like, outside of what I've already said about the ones that it was like, okay, it would elevate their storyline around the World Heavyweight title right now. There's not really any other dude that like screams, okay, this is the person who should be the Money in the Bank winner, or this is the guy who probably should get it to be a world champion eventually. Like, we're not really at, you know, a point that's obvious. The women is different, but the men, I don't know.
I don't know. I do not want to see this on my screen again. I do not want to see Jey Uso as Money in the Bank winner.
No.
But I do want to see is more of what the Undertaker talked about. So I have the quote up here.
I feel so wise.
You feel so wise?
Yeah, because everything I've said, Undertaker said.
Okay.
So.
Oh, well, no. Why? I didn't want to go to your page. I want to go. No, I lost it. I clicked on your page. And I clicked on by accident because I'm trying to click the tweet that I like sent you so I could read it. Oh, here we go. Okay. So Undertaker, it was on the 6 Feet Under podcast they were doing, which is his podcast show. They were doing a Q&A, and he was Wrestle Ops. It was Undertaker doesn't know if Tony Khan is the guy to run a wrestling company, in hopes that one day AEW will get their crap together. Hopefully one day. I mean, a lot of people don't think the way I do, but one day AEW gets their crap together and genuinely creates some competition. That's probably not a popular take from WWE, most WWE insiders, but the way I look at it, I mean, competition's only going to make you better. I don't think there's a real true leader in that locker room, and I'm not sure. I have nothing against the man. I don't know that Tony is the guy to run the company. His heart's in a good place. He wants to do something, but I just don't know if he has the ability to make good judgments and swift decision making to run a wrestling company against the juggernaut that is WWE. But hey, I could be wrong. Hey, I hope they get it together. It's better for the wrestlers, the fans. It's better for everything. I could not agree more with the competition element, but he does make some valid points.
What I thought was hilarious was the number one comment that I saw underneath that when I saw the tweet at the time was like, oh yeah, we should definitely listen to the guy that's like super hardcore WWE. And I'm like, this is coming from an AEW tribalist that is so psychotically brainwashed that they're not even going to listen to a guy as well respected as The Undertaker. Like, come on. And it's just a dude speaking his opinion. He doesn't own WWE. He doesn't make the calls. He's not on the creative team. He's literally just a random dude in the big scheme of things, a random dude talking about wrestling on a podcast because someone asked him a question. And you're acting like he is like a dictator in wrestling and he's like saying these things. And so you have to take it as like, what he says goes. Like, it's just so moronic to me. Like, it's so embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing, but he makes a lot of valid points.
Yeah, and he's been around a lot of wrestling people and wrestling companies, and like he's been a leader. And the thing is like the whole leader in the locker room thing is just to try and keep like morality and keep cohesion and like a levelness behind the scenes. That's what he's talking about, because the whole leader of the locker room thing has been getting a bad rap like the past couple months because of the Punk drama and whatever. But he's not wrong. But the problem is like as he said, is just how Tony conducts himself and how he's trying to be so different from WWE that's why he's like, oh yeah, everybody's in control of their own thing. They can do whatever they want. We don't really have a creative team. Like, you can just do this and do that. Like, it's because he's making everybody just like glorified indie stars that can like do whatever it is that they please. That's the reason why there's so much chaos, or why there's no fluidity with the shows. Like it's simple things that he could change, and it's basically what the Undertaker's saying. There's simple things that you can change that will benefit you, your wrestlers, the company, and your product in general. But it's as he says, like, Tony doesn't have the right people around him, as we've said, and I've said a million times. He doesn't have the right people around him. He has yes men around him, or he has nobody around him. It is all on him to be making these decisions, and that's why these things are happening that are not good, because he just doesn't have the right people in place. But
he doesn't, and that's one thing I will say that now that I don't think he is there. I think he is in Jacksonville. At least at the shows, and the new EVP segment of what they're doing with Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. So sorry, they in the Okada, the Elite now. It's a really good start to some sort of overarching story to a show. Like, it feels like for a while it was just a bunch of matches on a card with the only stories are the people feuding. Like, there's no bigger story to it. There's no real A story. And with AEW now, it's clear that there is an A story and a B story, and the other stuff is just the matches. And I like the one issue I do have with it is the Christopher Daniels now is an interim EVP. Just call him a general manager. Call him something. You know what I mean? Like, when you do that, it puts him on the level of, the Young Bucks and the Elite. And then also it blurs the line too. It's like, wait, but he also rests. Like, he's not an authority figure. He's just, what he is. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, I can't get behind it, but the start of it is there from what I have been watching, and I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit more. Like, they're getting the Acclaimed involved. Swerve. It seems like Swerve Strickland is going to be part of the Blood and Guts match that they teased a little bit. It's just I think they're in a good direction, and there's a lot of great talent in AEW. But they do need a direction. It's just they don't have it right now. They don't.
I agree.
All right. Let's get to some predictions.
Okay.
Very WWE heavy show today, Sarah. I know. It's just that's what's gonna happen when you got a pay-per-view. It's just what happens when it's pay-per-view time. As SmackDown's on my screen now. Let's start out with what we would think is the main event, but in a different country. AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship in an I Quit match. I can. We're on the same page. Who's going to win? My real conversational piece or question to throw out there is, how far are they going to go?
I think they're going to go far. I think AJ wants that. I think Cody wants that. I think Cody
Me too.
wants to like, I don't think that he cares what some people on the internet are saying about his title run so far. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that people are saying anything about it being boring. It's been 2 fucking months. Like, I just think like, if you think this is boring, then what did you think of Roman's last 2 years or like 2.5 years? Like, it to me, it just doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
For 4 years.
Huh?
Roman?
Almost
was
4.
4.
Almost 4, yeah.
And the last like year was brutal. The last year
More
was
than
brutal.
that. Yeah.
Last year.
You would 2023 was a good year or
But it
leading.
was no 2023 leading up. I'm saying the like after WrestleMania 39. It was like, all right.
Oh, I was
I'm
saying
like,
before
okay.
that it was kind of like, but
Yeah,
anyway,
okay.
so I think that Cody will want to like legitimize himself a little bit more. Like, I don't think it's because of any other reason other than being like, he knows that he can do it, and he knows that he can do that with a guy like AJ Styles. And I think AJ Styles, we know, wants to prove people wrong because
Loves
he
to
is
work.
very aware of how many people are like, oh, his time is past, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why anyone would think that, but I think they're going to take it as far as they can go, and they can kind of get away with a bit more, I think, overseas than in America. I really wouldn't be surprised if we do maybe hear the audio of Cody saying I quit. I feel like that would be the ultimate, like, we thought that was going to happen previously, like at a different one in the last I quit match.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that would be sick if we heard that, and then we figure out that it was a manipulation, that it wasn't real, some sort of drama. I feel like that would be cool.
Like at the in the match, you mean
Yes,
drama at
yeah,
the
yeah,
AJ
yeah.
doesn't walk out with the title. Okay.
Right. Yes,
Okay.
because I think
Okay.
that would
Just
be
want to
too
clarify that.
I think that would be too damaging to the championship and the like prestige of it for them to actually allow it to go that far,
Okay. Yep.
Um
Fair.
but yeah, I think that there's going to be wild. And I think it's because these are two guys that are more than capable of pulling off that type of match, and it's not even just that, it's because they want to. So
I could see them going all over the arena, not just doing the
blood.
cookie cutter. Oh, there's gonna be blood.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. There's
There
gonna be
will
blood.
be blood.
There will be blood in this match. Like
Mhm.
they could do some really creative shit, to hammer home the I quit vibe
Mhm.
you want to give. It's hook, line, sinker. Cody Rhodes wins though.
It has to.
It's
Yeah.
come on. Let's know what we're doing here.
I understand why some people were nervous because Mama Rhodes is in Scotland, so they're like, "Oh God, Cody's losing," because it's like Mama's there. But I do think that, as I've said, they can't do that with this championship. Like, they can't.
No, that would be really damaging.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, it's not even a possibility. So
let's not even think it. Let's think about the next match. Let's talk about this. We got the unholy union of Alpha Fire and Isla Dawn taking on.
you spelled Baszler wrong.
Oh, is it BAE?
No, there's an S in there.
There's an S.
Mm-hmm. BASZLER. There's no Y. ZLER. No Y.
But in essence, you know what? That's not the.
I can
That's not
fix
the
it
conversation.
if you're really that dramatic.
No, I already fixed it.
Oh, okay.
I already fixed it. I'm just more complaining.
Oh, okay.
I'm more
Well,
complaining
she
about.
didn't choose how to spell her last name.
I'm more angry at how grammatically that makes sense. Not really her specifically, but we digress. The person whose name Enzo I cannot spell, and Zoe Stark. Both of those teams challenging Bianca and Jade for the women's tag team championship. Sara, it's again. Are you gonna say Bianca Jade?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. My question going into it is who's taking the fall.
I would assume, just based on what we saw on Raw, it's going to be Alba or Isla. If they're trying to build up Zoe and Shayna and act like they're like the tough girls that they are, they probably won't want to do anything that would jeopardize that in the eyes of the fans. So I wouldn't be surprised if Alba or Isla are the ones that take it, because no one will bat an eye over them losing.
I have a feeling Zoe Stark takes the fall. You can't have the unholy union.
I'm not saying they
And
should. I just mean I just
I
don't
know
know if they would do that to Shayna or Zoe.
Yeah, but I'm going. Yeah, okay. I'm like kind of seeing your side too. That's why. It's just the home crowd really plays a factor now, and they did them dirty on Raw. They did them really dirty on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
So why not make it
Well,
right and make them look a little bit better in their home country? Yeah, they're obviously not going to win, but at least don't.
Yeah, no, I agree, because we shared that same opinion about how it went down on Raw. So
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I'd be for it, honestly. I would be for like Zoe or Shayna taking it.
I want to see how long Jade and Bianca can be tag team champions. I think that would be. I want to see like a historic run out of them. That would be sick. Like they just look like superheroes. They really do.
Yeah.
It's awesome. All right. As I watch their managers or amigos go at it on SmackDown, Bayley and Piper Niven, the hometown gal, Piper Niven, challenging Bayley. Yeah, again, it's Bayley.
It's gotta be. Oh my gosh, did you see that video of Piper and how much Drew McIntyre means to her? Did you see that video of her telling him? Oh my gosh.
No, I didn't. Can you?
She was just saying like she talked about like a story or whatever about whatever, it doesn't matter, but it was just like, oh, like people never thought that this was going to happen, and then when Drew was fired, and then he started the whole thing with the Scottish wrestling, like before that people never really thought that anything would become of Scottish wrestlers, that there wasn't a place for them in WWE. So him becoming a WWE superstar and then making Scottish wrestling a big, like a household name, like open the door for people like her. And so she was like, it's all because of you that like we're here and whatever. And you could tell that it was like touching for Drew. And I was like, it's just very
Tell me
cute.
right now, this man's not gonna win. Are you kidding me?
I'm not getting my hopes up, because I just feel like it's too perfect for him to win, but we haven't gotten there yet. Yeah, I like this match, and I like their build up to it at the like Clash at the Castle press conference type of thing that they had. I think that Bayley has done a really good job about putting Piper over to people who don't really know her or her history, or maybe they doubt her spot in this match. I think Bayley's done a really good job, and I mean, of course she would, because she's such a fan of women's wrestling, such a supporter of women's wrestling and whatnot. So I appreciate her for that. And I do think that they're going to have a sneaky good match, potentially the match of the night. If we're going to take away even just like the stipulation match, I think that they could have a banger. But I do think it's similar to, it's not as big of a deal, obviously, to Cody's title or whatever, but I do think that it would be a shame to have Bayley lose only 2 months after she won it, and such a big storyline in her career,
I this could definitely steal the show. I would be very interested how well Piper does in this match, and all that. Did you see that Bayley wants to wrestle a Marigold too?
Oh no, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, like it's something like that makes Bayley, I would say, the most underrated of the four horsewomen, because yes, Sasha left and went there, you know what I mean, and is doing her own thing, red carpet wise, big star. And then obviously Becky, Charlotte doing their respective things. But Bayley knows ball on all levels. but she's still that WWE loyalist, is not leaving. Like, it was her
Mhm.
dream to be there, but she's unapologetic about how much she knows outside of it.
Mhm. Mhm.
That is only going to make not only her, but the company that much better in the future. And you can tell, like, that's why Triple H has the title on it right now.
Well, and I also think that it could open the door for them bringing in other talent that, like, maybe wants to
yeah.
experience some stuff outside of WWE. It's like, okay, well,
yeah.
this will give you that chance too. Like, it might not be on a weekly basis, but at least it's not back like how it was under Vince, where it was very much like, if you're WWE, you only are WWE. We can't talk
Yeah.
about other companies. You can't even like imagine yourself being somewhere else,
Mhm. Yeah, it's so different now because you need to know, you need to be well versed and well rounded to kind of get ahead here. Not gonna lie. Yep, Bailey, we're still on the same path. Here's where I'm gonna just disagree because I saw a graphic that really tickled my fancy of Chad Gable and the Creed brothers all with gold, and I'm like, yes. Here's the thing. I'm gonna feed into your negative, doubt.
Realism.
I'll say doubt. And I'm gonna predict Chad Gable or pick. I'll throw my prediction Chad Gable in there. This is my pick for what will steal the show. I think this will really be the sleeper match of the show.
Yeah, I'm going with Sami Zayn because I feel like you just kind of have to. Again, the prestige of the Intercontinental Championship, I think it's too much at this point. And I think that we're going to see more story development in the Alpha Academy. I think that's what's going to be. And I think the end game in this is obviously the Creed brothers joining Chad Gable in Alpha Academy, either turning or being booted. I think that's more of what it is. And then maybe down the line he wins the Intercontinental Championship, but I don't think it is right now.
That's my problem. Is that I
don't
agree
care.
with you.
So.
No, I agree with you, but I could see them doing it right
I just
now.
hope they don't. I'd be so
I
irritated because
don't
then I'd
know
be like,
why,
why
but
would you even have Gunther lose then? That's so
I
dumb.
really want
Then you should
Sammy
have
to
just
win,
had
but
Chad take it.
it's I'm more okay, but out of this story, what are you more invested in? Like the Chad Gable? Like, what is Sammy's role right now in this?
But the thing is you have to tiptoe on this topic, because just because people are maybe invested more in Chad Gable, that doesn't mean he should be rewarded for a title, because you say all the time that titles are not this, it's not this, it's not that. So it's like Chad Gable doesn't need a title then. If he's like killing it in the story, then he doesn't need it, right? It doesn't matter what Sammy's doing or not doing.
I'm just feeding into my doubts. Okay, that's all we're doing with this pick. I see, and my heart is like, listen, you got to just go long term with Sammy, and maybe like a few weeks after SummerSlam he drops it, whatever. But like for now, he needs to be the strong. He needs to win this match because he needs to feud with other people. But the other side of the coin is I want to see Chad Gable and Creed brothers. That makes sense, is them doing a Team Angle thing.
Yeah,
I just don't know when they're gonna pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, I just don't think that needs to happen right away. I think they need to legitimize themselves as a new stable before that happens. Because why would the Creed brothers deserve to get tag team titles right now? They've not been on TV.
They haven't.
They
have.
No one's gonna buy into them being a heel just because they got the tag team titles.
They need new theme song.
Well,
sorry, they need a new.
Yeah.
That's another lemon I had on my list, by the way.
We gotta.
Oh, we gotta go. All right.
No, I'm saying we gotta speed it up. It's 5:21.
Okay. 5:21. My bad. Well, all right.
Oh, 8:21. Whatever. Sorry.
Okay, here we go.
You spelled Damien wrong. I even answered you multiple times on your tweets. You remember? I was like just answering you and doing Damien.
I'm terrible at spelling. That's why I don't
like,
write anymore, and I just talk. Like I can say words better than I write them.
I just thought it was funny because I kept responding to your tweets being like, Damien, asterisk Damien asterisk every
Maybe
time
that's why I'm not going viral, because I can't fucking spell. But yeah, we obviously are gonna go here on both sides of the coin with Mr. Drew McIntyre, the Scottish bastard himself.
I feel handsome bastard.
Handsome bastard. I'm sorry, I misquoted Pat.
I feel like that is me saying what I want to happen rather than what I think is going to happen, because I honestly have no idea what I think is going to happen. I don't know. I think that it seems all too perfect. It seems like the perfect time, the place, the moment for Drew to win. But because of that, that's why I doubt it. Because there's not many times in wrestling where everything aligns so perfectly for something to really actually happen. You know, so that's why it's hard for me to be 100% behind Drew winning. Because like if this weren't in Scotland, what would you say?
I'd say Damien.
But see, that's the thing, is like, is it like it's like I really wouldn't be surprised if they play the long game with Drew. But then there's also possibilities with Damien and Finn. But then if, like, as we said, Drew versus Punk doesn't seem like as interesting if it doesn't involve the championship. So it's like, I feel it's like Drew has to be the champion. So I guess if we're thinking about Drew versus Punk, then Drew has to be the champion.
Also, there's so much brewing in Judgment Day that they need Damien to lose the title to move forward with it. Like Damien as champion served its purpose, and it's time for Drew McIntyre to win and then go on that run where he faces guys like CM Punk for the title. You know, maybe Finn Balor gets a shot because of all the nonsense, whatnot. I'm trying to think, like Gunther, you have him fight Gunther at SummerSlam instead of CM Punk. Like you build, I don't know. There's a lot you can do there that it's more beneficial for Drew to be champion than Damien.
And that's like why with Punk, I think that Punk is going to inevitably play a role. But I would like it to be more so that he crashes Drew's celebration. I don't want to see another thing of Drew. I don't want to see Punk be the reason he doesn't win. I feel like that story is getting played out. We already see that. Okay. We already saw that at WrestleMania. We don't need to see it again. I don't really feel like that does anything for their feud, because then it's like, okay, if they fight at SummerSlam, then what are they fighting for? You know? But then this is the other thing too, right? Drew winning. Drew can't face Punk at SummerSlam if he's the champion, because Gunther gets a title match at SummerSlam.
People forget.
So that's the thing. Drew, then that means Damien's winning.
No, you can no.
Or they're gonna have to push out.
Punk might not be cleared.
I would assume that if he crashes the celebration, that he would be coming out and saying he's cleared and that he's coming for Drew.
But okay.
So that's the thing that's a problem. That's why I'm saying I don't feel like it's 100% certain. I feel like there's too many things going on for it to be obvious. I don't know.
I'm squashing that negativity.
It's because of Gunther too. That's the thing.
We will whatchamacallit, we will let it play out. And here's the thing, because we were short on time and the Celtics are on, SmackDown's on, it's Friday. We don't record on Fridays, but we're here anyways. We are only going to talk about the one thing, the one constant, I would say, Sara, that's always on our usual Thursday show. And that is the Bad Gal update. Me, for anyone new here, it is me playing the WWE 2K24 career mode with the female storyline, and obviously I'm using Sara as my muse, and we have transformed her from Sarah Marshall into the Bad Gal captain. I don't know why she's captain. That's not my choosing or Sarah's, but the Bad Gal was, and we've been doing this story mode for a couple weeks now, and it's fun as hell. 2K is a lot of fun this year. They have a lot of cool modes. I haven't got to play all of them, but the My Rise is so much fun. And the women's story, let me tell you, Sara, this week, okay, I'll give you an update. So we win that match on Raw. That's what I ended with. I don't think I showed you the clip, but we tried 3 times to win this Fatal 4-Way match. We won inevitably.
Oh, good.
And then Raquel Rodriguez took us
Mhm.
out at the bump. Like we were on the bump and she power bombed us middle of the
Yes.
bump. Kayla
Yes.
Braxton was pissed. How pissed was she, Sarah? Well, I had to face Raquel obviously on the next week's SmackDown because that's how wrestling works. How we settle things. Who comes out to interfere in the match to give me the win? But Kayla Braxton.
Oh my gosh.
Like Kayla Braxton just came out on and just like stared. And then I hit Raquel with a roll up possum pin and we won. It was like unreal. I was dying laughing. So we have that match, and then right now, when I edit the video, you'll see it. But you can feud like in the locker room. There's 3 different people or different paths you can go down for your storyline, and the one was our girl Geneva, who in kayfabe 2K. I'm gonna call it 2K Fabe. Let's do that. 2K Fabe. Geneva is your best friend who you started TBD with, and she's the one who pushed you to go WWE. Well, she asked you to go on a road trip to go see your good pal Psycho Sally from TBD. She's making her NXT appearance first debut. She's making her debut, and you can either say no or yes. We chose yes because I feel like Sarah, you're someone who supports your peeps. All right, so I wanted to go there. We're supporting our good pal Psycho Sally, and here's the thing: I wish we didn't. You know why? Because we end up playing as Psycho Sally for the entire stream. I just did a random feud with Psycho Sally. That was the stream this week. You took a week off. Legitimately. There was because we get down there and the way it's going, like you've seen when I do the clips here, how it has like the text box and the person. So I go down to get to do the story and then end up seeing you as the person. You're in third person now. Like I'm looking at you. I'm like, why? No, I'm Psycho now. So your first debut match or Psycho's debut match was against Blair Davenport, who I know you like. We beat her. We won. We got the win. Psycho Sally picked up her first win. And then next week we faced Roxanne Perez. Got the win against her. Here's the thing, though. The whole time, Sally's talking to her friend Millie. Or Fanny. Fuck Fanny. I'm so over Fanny after this week. I hate her. Because she was sabotaging our matches. Like after Blade Davenport, you say that you came back and you were really more fatigued than usual. She put something in your food that would make you tired. Weird. And then she said Roxanne put rocks in her backpack. It was really Fanny. So Fanny, we have that. We lost to Fanny. And I'm not gonna lie, that's where I just was like, F this, we're getting out of here. And now we are back on the main roster. And you can feud. I want to do a poll. Comment below who you want to see Sarah feud with next. So our options are Candice LeRae, Carmella, or some random dude named Slade.
A dude.
He's like the manager, I'm assuming, because he's in a suit. When you can do the options.
I know who I would choose.
Candice LeRae?
No.
Carmella?
Yeah, because I want to beat that ass.
Bet.
She's so annoying.
Bet.
Okay.
Bet. We'll
me versus Candice would be great, but like I don't want to. I guess it's more fun, I guess, if it's like someone that I'm like, I don't really like her.
Yeah, because you're beating Candice LeRae's ass, and you're like, all right, I like you. Like, I want to have like a good match with you, not just beat you up.
Yeah, I want to be your friend.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's be allies, but frenemies when it comes down to business. Carmella, I feel like you would. Kevin Owens is wearing a Latino Heat shirt. That's sick. I feel like you and Carmella would scrap. That would be a really good feud. All right, we'll check that out. All right, so we'll go to that, and I'll have to make a note of that too. Have you feud with Carmella next. I'll make a mental note of that.
Okay.
So we'll feud with Carmella next Wednesday next week, because that's what's going to happen next week, Wednesday, the usual day of streaming. And I did a bonus stream as well for anyone who's interested in not just wrestling, but all sports. I did a bonus stream of my Red Sox team A lot of fun happening there. So go check out both those streams next week, 6 o'clock. Excuse me, 6 o'clock on Twitch Wednesday. But that's not the next time we will be back. All right, we're gonna be back on Sunday, I think. Yeah, we said
We'll
Sunday.
see. Yeah, it depends.
We'll
on how
see.
The show
Depends on
goes.
the show
Yeah.
goes and if there's a lot to talk about and whatnot. But for sure, we'll be back on Tuesday for the Raw Rewind. And I'm off on Tuesday. Can't wait. I'm excited. So we'll see you then. Go subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, bell notification to know when we go live. It really means a lot. Not a lot of peeps today, too, but I get it. It's Friday. SmackDown's on. Celtics are on. We're trying to hush out of here. So we totally get it, but we really appreciate the peeps who did show up, like Vinny, like Jay, even if he is the heel to our baby faces, and the Davids as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. Follow us on all social media platforms in the links in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you hopefully Sunday if it's good. So pray for a good show. Yeah.